You're listening to the Stone Tapes on Siren 107.3 FM with Sam Stone and friends.
Hello, everyone.
Oh,
hello, David.
That was a bit of a struggle getting here, wasn't it?
God.
Oh, my word.
I'm sorry, we're a little bit frazzled and a bit sort of upset at the moment. We had a bit of difficulty getting into the studio today.
And where's Patricia? I haven't seen her yet. Oh, Patricia.
Hi. I ran all the way here. They're everywhere.
What? Who?
What's happening?
I think they're zombies.
What?
What?
I seriously, I think they're zombies. They're just everywhere, just shambling around, and I brained one with my cane, but it still kept coming, and then.
Oh, okay.
Good grief.
Well, we
you
saw the mist, didn't we?
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of mist.
Oh, my word.
All over Lincoln.
Oh, God, I'm not quite sure what. Oh,
it's
Patricia,
really
I think we need a bit of music. Hang on,
Yeah,
here we go.
just take a deep breath.
Ghouls be seen and ghosts. Beware.
I'd like to tell a little story.
And of course, we've lost another great this week, Ron Moody, which we were fortunate to talk to actor Mark Lester. And the first question I asked him was if he could recall the very first day on set with Ron.
Yeah, I believe we were doing it Pick a Pocket or Two was the first thing that we all did together, because obviously when you make a film, it's all out of sequence. And Ron appeared as Fagin, and that was how he was. And he was a method actor, and he got into the part. And so we all just believed that we were in the presence of Fagin.
And that was Down in the Park by Gary Newman. And as I said earlier, we have with us Simon Clarke, who is an author of such highly regarded horror novels as Nailed by the Heart, Blood Crazy Darker, Vampiric and The Fall. Simon, I believe novels aren't the only thing you've been working on recently.
No, I mean, I started off writing short stories, graduated to novels, probably in my 20s, and now I'm getting quite long in the tooth. I've just started turning into writing script work. I wrote a script of my novel Night of the Triffids, which was produced by Big Finish as an audio drama, and I must have done something right because he invited me back to write an episode of Survivors. I don't know if anybody remembers the Survivors from the 1970s, a Terry Nation creation.
Yeah, we certainly do.
Basically involves 99% of the world dying of a horrible plague, and because the story is about the survivors and what they do to survive.
Can you tell us a little bit about that story of the survivors, or are you sort of like, you've got to keep quiet on that for the moment?
Yeah, I suppose I'm supposed to keep quiet a little bit, but it basically does, if anybody remembers the original survivors, it does involve some of the original characters from there, like Abby Grant and Jimmy Garland, and I mean, it's a dream come true for me to be able to write for Abby Grant. You know, I remember watching The Survivors probably in my gym jams when I was, I shouldn't say this, probably about 16 or 17, so I was wearing my gym jams at 8 o'clock at night. It's anybody's guess, but...
That's fantastic. So I think Lindsay's got a little question here as well that she's particularly interested in.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Josh. Looking forward to meeting you.
This is Linzi Gold, by the way, Josh, in case you didn't realise.
I'm looking forward to being out there, yes.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Well, as a professional drinker, I believe you've got a cocktail recipe of the month here for us all.
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, last time I gave you guys the oatmeal cookie last time.
You did,
yes.
That one's a lot of fun. I guess this one... this month I was planning on doing, well, this is my worst impersonation of, hey, Scoob, what's the drink this month? Scooby Snack. That's right. Is the Scooby Snack. A Scooby Snack is equal parts Dory, liqueur, and Malibu rum, coconut rum. You mix the Dory and the Malibu together and a little bit of pineapple juice, and you mix that up into a shot that you pour. Now, some people top it with whipped cream. I recommend adding a dash of half and half to it, and it gives the same effect. And, that's a Scooby Snack.
I've always loved horror film music. I mean, it makes the films. And what I wanted to kick off with here was it's a track that's called Night of Horror. Now, I've been trying to do some research into this Night of Horror track. It's written by a guy called Roger Webb, and I haven't been able to find anything much about it online at all. It comes from an LP that I've got at home called Horror Movie Themes, which was released in 1975. Interesting little factette is that Roger Webb actually wrote the title music for 1980's Hammer House of Horror television series. And he also did things like Armchair Thriller and, as far as I can tell, George and Mildred, which is completely surreal. But what's interesting is that this particular track doesn't actually appear anywhere online. I haven't been able to find a digital copy of it at all. So I apologise in advance for the little cracks and pops, because they've come off my own record, which I have copied for this. So this is Night of Horror, which sort of sets the scene for Halloween.
Hello, and that was Back in Time by Huey Lewis and the news from the Back to the Future films. And with us on the show is, hopefully, Chris Smith. Hi, Chris.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. I'm going to pass you over to David J Howe, because he's going to do your interview today, and I might interject and ask a few things as it goes on as well.
As the show happens. Hello, Chris.
Very good. You're making me feel very old, because I actually had that soundtrack.
Well, as you can possibly tell, we from that at least, we've got a bit of a time travel vibe going on in the music we've got on this show, and we're going to be talking a lot more about your film Triangle later on as our film of the month for this week. But it's an absolute pleasure to talk to you, Chris. I can see that you've actually had a pretty good crack at some fantastic horror films in your career, and I wanted to just sort of step back initially to what seems to be the first one, at least, which was Creep, and that you wrote and directed.
Yeah, it was a strange one. It was around about the time when Neil Marshall had just done Dog Soldiers. I was trying to get another film financed, and because I'd grown up being a huge horror fan, a producer literally said, if you want to get your first movie made, maybe you should write a horror movie, because horror movies are traditionally good stepping stones for filmmakers for their first chance. So I just said, I've got this idea I've had for ages that was I kind of drew from what was the werewolf, American Werewolf. So I just wrote it over about 8 weeks.
Wow.
And it worked, so it was great.
And that was your first feature, was it?
That was my first feature, yeah.
Good Lord, that's amazing. But I felt it had kind of resonances of... do you remember a film called Deathline?
I do. It's really funny. You know what happens with any film you make is that you've seen films. I hadn't seen Deathline. I'd written the script, and I was working in New York at the time. My wife was in New York, and I was in New York, and this guy in this video shop said, "Hey, your movie, I read the script. It's very like, you got to watch Deathline." I'm like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah, you just go, "Oh."
But every film you make, there's always something. And
yeah.
It's kind of, So.
But what I was going to say, what I like about your work, though, Chris, is that you always manage to sort of pull a rabbit out the hat, and you have some very original ideas and original kind of concepts and stuff in there.
Wait for the new one. I've just finished a film called Detour, which is very much in that vein.
Oh, fantastic!
What we're talking about. So that's very kind of you. I appreciate that.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. David's Film of the Month.
David's Film of the Month with added costs. A little bit of a,
They're free.
Cost at the moment. They come free, completely free. So the film we're going to be talking about this month is Logan's Run. Woo! Which is a fabulous film. 1976. Directed by Michael Anderson and starring Michael York and Jenny Agutter. And based on...